Hello, and thank you for joining this instructional video for the New York State Emergency Rental Assistance Program. In this video, we'll be demonstrating the navigation and functionality of the Landlord or Owner portal. As a reminder, landlords and owners are required to create an account by clicking on the Sign Up button on the top navigation bar, while tenants are not required to create an account. Let's start from the beginning with a login process. Typically, you would start by clicking on the Sign Up button at the top of the homepage. I'm going to start this video once an account has been created, and we will start by clicking on the Login button. Here, we'll be prompted to enter a username and password. Note that the login process does require two-factor authentication for security. What that means is that a code will be sent to your phone or email account according to your preferences, so you will need access to one of those in order to enter an access code and finalize the login process. And for the purposes of this video, I have my owner account already logged in on another screen. So let's flip over to that. Here we see the home page after login. So as a landlord or owner, there are a few primary places I would want to go to access or submit information. First, you can scroll to the top navigation bar and click on the Landlord Owner section button to access the Owner section. If you want to navigate straight to the page where you can upload documentation or submit W-9 or direct deposit information, you can click these buttons on the right navigation bar. Scrolling back up to the Landlord Owner section button, I will now click that. On this page, at the top, you'll be able to see your owner information and W-9 and direct deposit information. Clicking in on the W-9 button, we'll be able to see the data required to submit W-9 information, as well as certifications that must be signed by the landlord or owner. Navigating back to the direct deposit button, we'll again see the data required, which includes address and bank account information. We'll now navigate back to the landlord or owner section. Further down, you'll be able to see submitted applications that are associated with your landlord or owner account, as well as documentation that you've already submitted as a landlord or owner. One important note while we're here is that once an application has been submitted by a tenant, you can link that application to your owner account by clicking on the Add ERAP Application button. Clicking in on that button, I would submit the application number, which can be obtained from a tenant, as well as the tenant or applicant's date of birth, and then click the Search Application button. Next, I would click Add ERAP Application to my owner profile in order to associate that application with my owner profile. As an owner, you also have the option to submit an application on behalf of a tenant. It is important to note that an owner is not permitted to fully submit an application on behalf of a tenant because the tenant must sign on the applicant certification page for the application to be complete. From here, we'll scroll back up in the owner section. Also in the owner section, you can manage your user account and upload documentation on the right navigation bar. If I click on Upload Documents, I can access this page, where I'll see a drop-down of the different document types. One thing you'll notice here is that there are a number of documents in this drop-down list which are not required to be submitted by the landlord or owner. However, if a landlord or owner is completing an application on behalf of a tenant, they can submit the required documentation for both the tenant and the landlord here. At this point, I'd like to spend a moment discussing which documents are required to be uploaded by a landlord or owner. That document list will be located on the document upload page, which we're viewing right now. First, a landlord or owner must submit W-9 and direct deposit information, as we previously discussed. Next, a landlord or owner must submit an executed lease with the tenant, or if there is no written lease, a canceled check, evidence of funds transferred, or other documentation of the last full monthly rent payment will be accepted. Landlords and owners must submit proof of ownership, such as a warranty deed, homeowner insurance policy, tax bill, or other similar document. Landlords or owners must submit the landlord monthly rent confirmation form, which again will be located on the page that we're viewing right now. Next, if the landlord is not the owner must submit the owner affidavit for a property manager or agent as recipient of funds, as well as the management agreement. Landlords and owners may possess or receive paper documentation from a tenant and should convert that documentation into electronic format by scanning, taking a phone picture, or by other means, and then uploading that electronic documentation. Specific program documentation that needs to be completed by a landlord or owner will be located on the Upload Documents page, which we're viewing now. Additionally, we recommend that a landlord or owner may visit the New York State Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance website to contact community-based organizations or district contact information if you need additional assistance. Last, we'd like to discuss how to check the status of a submitted application. There are two places a landlord or owner can go to check application status. First, we'll navigate back to the landlord or owner section and click on an application associated with my account, the View Details button, and we'll see the application status here. Alternately, we can navigate back to the home page and click on the Check Application Status button, and we'll be required to provide the application number as well as the applicant's or tenant's date of birth. Finally, a note on where to go for help. There are several locations where a landlord, owner, or tenant can go for assistance. If we navigate back to the Emergency Rental Assistance homepage and scroll to the bottom of the screen, click on the Contact Us button, we can find the call center number, which is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. until June 14th. After June 14th, the call center is open from Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also on this page, you can find resources for reasonable accommodation, TTY relay communications, the state's fraud hotline, as well as a link to live chat with a customer service representative. In conclusion, we hope this video has been helpful. And as a last reminder, you may reach out to 844-NY1-RENT or 844-691-7368 to reach a customer service representative in order to ask questions or request assistance. We hope you have a great day.